Lewis Hamilton has been one of the most enigmatic drivers this season, as he constantly has mixed feelings about Ferrari and the car produced by the Maranello team. Although the focus is on 2026 and the new regulations, a big question arises. Is Ferrari in a good position to fight at the top? And if so, could Hamilton prevail over Leclerc after what we are currently seeing in 2025? Hamilton's debut at Ferrari was undoubtedly one of the biggest events in the history of the sport, if not the most important. A 7-time world champion joining the prancing horse with a mission to restore it to its former glory. His father, Anthony Hamilton, was clear in saying that Lewis did not come to Ferrari to retire at 40. He came to win his 8th title. Few believed that was possible in 2025, but Ferrari had been on an upward trend since 2024 that gave us hope they could compete with McLaren. And with the experience Lewis and Leclerc have, there was a real chance they could be in the fight for the Drivers' Championship. Not only did that not happen, but the situation has reached the point where Hamilton is not even one of the top 5 drivers on the grid. I can't remember the last time that happened in his career, and he is currently 30 points behind Leclerc, with no wins or podiums, not counting sprint events. It is very likely that he will finish the season in that position, but the situation that needs to be analyzed is whether Hamilton is really happy at Ferrari. Since the start of the season, we have heard many complaints about how communication works between him and Riccardo Adami, his new race engineer. Sure, it's something new, and everything new tends to have tensions, with clear boundaries on both sides. However, to this day, although it has improved considerably, Hamilton's communication with the pit wall is still far inferior to what he had with Bono at Mercedes. In addition to communication, it seems that Ferrari was not very willing to listen to him when it came to car updates. At this point, I don't think it's just a Hamilton issue, because Leclerc has also asked for more performance, but Vasseur, the team boss, believes that the car's potential is hidden in the current package. After the disaster at Spa, where Hamilton had to start from the pit lane after being eliminated in Q1, Ferrari set its sights on 2026. You may be wondering, why is this a problem? Well, ever since Hamilton took his first laps in the SF25 at Fiorano, he knew the car had limitations, mainly with the brakes. The latest update, which included a new rear suspension, combined with the braking problem he suffered throughout the season, did not help at all. On the contrary, it put him in a position where his comments were not taken into account when they should have been heard. And now that Ferrari has decided to focus on 2026, the question is whether they have done so too late. The worrying thing is that the improvements are not showing the potential promised in the simulator. Let's not forget the new floor and rear suspension that the team brought between Austria and Spa. They expected an improvement of 0.3 per lap, but the performance increase was minimal. This could make Hamilton wonder if the correlation issues he heard about for years at Mercedes could also be repeated at Ferrari. If you have improvements that show certain results in the simulator but don't translate to the track, you enter a vicious circle with your engineers. You ask for something, they try to do it, but tell you that the car's limitations don't allow it, and you end up in a race where you constantly have to lift off the throttle to preserve the car's floor. It's a problem for both drivers, including Leclerc, who has been pessimistic about 2025 from the start. That's another factor Hamilton must consider in his decision to join Ferrari. If the prince of the team is unhappy with the direction the team is taking, and he has much more experience with Maranello's decisions, how can Hamilton trust that everything will be ready for 2026? Let's not forget what Hamilton's goal was at the start of 2025. This season is already lost. We can't catch McLaren, and we need to focus on 2026 as soon as possible. But it was only after the disaster at Spa that they realized they had no chance of fighting against the MCL 39. Did they then waste valuable time in development? That's a question that will be answered in 2026. But for now, the general feeling is that we really don't know what Ferrari has up its sleeve in terms of its engine program. Yes, they are a good team, and yes, they have a proven track record of building strong power units, which should benefit them in the new era. But what about all the other challenges ahead? And what about Lewis's current situation? We've seen him frustrated with the direction the team is taking many times, and I don't think he has the edge over Leclerc for 2026. It's not just about age, it's the connection Hamilton has, or doesn't have, with Ferrari and the communication issues that are clearly going to take longer to resolve. Yes, the team made some good moves and brought in old acquaintances from his Mercedes days, such as Luca Diella. He will be Hamilton's new performance engineer after working closely with him at Brackley for 5 years, and is now ready to help Lewis in his quest for an 8th title. But if we weigh everything up, we have to ask ourselves a question that is sure to spark controversy. Was Hamilton wrong to join Ferrari? I know it's very, very early to talk about this. We're only in 2025, and before the season started, Vasseur tried to calm the waters by saying that the goal is 2026 and beyond, and that therefore Hamilton's experience cannot be judged by this year. But if we look at the other side, the one he left, things have improved quite a bit. It's not just the 2025 development that Mercedes has achieved, but also the reports about 2026. There are many sources who believe that the Brackley team will have a big advantage over the rest of the grid, despite the good experiences Ferrari and Honda have had with their engines. So Hamilton left the team where he wasn't listened to enough, although he was right in most of his criticisms, such as with the zero-pod concept, believed in Ferrari's promises, but now feels isolated, wondering why drivers like Alonso and Vettel were also unable to succeed in the long term with Ferrari. Now he sees where Ferrari's last champion in 2006 ended up, the one who beat him in the last race and robbed him of the chance to be champion in his debut year. Of course, everything changes over time, but there are worrying signs that Hamilton should look at more closely, such as the team's growing confidence in Fred Vasseur. There is no doubt that the team has improved under his leadership. They have won races again, pit stops have improved significantly, and strategic errors have been reduced to a minimum. However, the development of the car remains a mystery, and it is difficult to understand how a car with so much potential cannot perform on the track, which is where it really matters. And if this continues in the new era of regulations, then I think we could assume that Hamilton made the wrong decision in signing with Ferrari. I am very optimistic and believe that the Maranello team can start the new season strongly with the lineup they have. The sky is the limit, but we have to look at the facts head-on. What is Aston Martin preparing at Silverstone? We can't rule them out just like that either. Lawrence Stroll has invested billions to make that project work, and by bringing in names like Newey, Cowell, and Cardile, I think we're about to see a revolution in Formula One that will definitely make Ferrari suffer even more. And with all the external factors, age, motivation, commitment, the 7-time world champion could be on the wrong side of history. Time will tell if joining Ferrari and chasing the championship with the Maranello team was really a good decision, but for now, things are not looking good for either him or the management. With all this in mind, do you think 2026 will be a failure for Ferrari and Hamilton? More importantly, do you think he will regret leaving Mercedes, even if the conditions under which he left were somewhat humiliating for a figure like Lewis? Leave us your opinion in the comments. And once you do, be sure to click on the video appearing on your screen right now.